Whether you're in the nursery or out in the field, whether it's disease, weeds, or insect pests that are eating away at your bottom line, BASF has the solution you need to fight back. In fact, BASF has invested billions of dollars in agricultural products, research and development, as well as several $100 million in plant biotechnology. And it shows through innovative and effective fungicides, herbicides, and insecticides that give you the control you need to grow better plants. One such solution, a breakthrough for the ornamentals industry, is FreeHand 1.75G herbicide. FreeHand 1.75G effectively controls key nursery and landscape weeds, including spurges, eclipta, bittercress, liverworts, and more. Best of all, FreeHand 1.75G delivers 8+ weeks of broad-spectrum pre-emergent weed control, freeing you from the unprofitable task of hand weeding. And since FreeHand 1.75G utilizes two highly effective active ingredients, dimethenamide P and pendimethalin, it's also a great resistance management tool. Of course, to get the most out of FreeHand 1.75G or any pesticide, you have to apply it properly. To apply a product properly, it's important to have a basic understanding about how that type of product works. In our case, that product is a herbicide. As much as we'd like to say otherwise, the fact is there are no perfect herbicides. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. The best products, however, control a broad spectrum of key weed species while offering a high degree of plant safety. Herbicides come in two broad categories, pre-emergent and post-emergent. Pre-emergent herbicides like FreeHand 1.75G work to prevent weeds from growing even before they show up. Post-emergent herbicides work to get rid of the weeds after they've emerged. We'll focus on pre-emergent applications here. In order for a pre-emergent application to be effective, all existing emerged weeds must be removed first. For nurseries, remember to keep roads, aisles, and other non-crop areas weed-free. These areas may not be as top of the mind as the soil in your pots, but they're just as important. Propagation areas are also critical. Keeping these areas weed-free is key to keeping your liners free of infestation. Once clear of existing weeds, the pre-emergent herbicide prevents or inhibits germinating seedlings from emerging. The active ingredients in these herbicides bind near the surface of the soil media. This creates a protective barrier that keeps the weed seedlings in check. Herbicides like FreeHand 1.75G are designed to remain on the soil for an extended period of time, offering long-term control. Of course, the key to success is the formation of a uniform, undisturbed barrier, and this is accomplished through proper application, which you'll learn later in this video. It's important to note that once a herbicide is applied, it must be watered in with at least 1/4 to 1/2 inch of water. Now that you know the basics of how a herbicide works, you're almost ready to learn the proper methods of herbicide application. The first thing you must do before applying any herbicide is read the label. The product specimen label is the EPA government-approved instructional manual for a product. The specific wording is the result of several years of research and testing. The label includes information on worker safety, personal protective equipment, directions for use, use rates, and precautions. In short, it's a detailed document that summarizes how to safely and effectively use the product, in this case, FreeHand 1.75G. Let's look at some of the specifics of the FreeHand 1.75G label. The REI, or re-entry interval, is important because it spells out how long workers must wait before re-entering an area after it's been treated. FreeHand 1.75G has an REI of 24 hours. When entering a treated area before the REI or during the actual application, workers must wear proper attire. On the label, this is called PPE, Personal Protective Equipment. For FreeHand 1.75G, applicators and other handlers must wear shoes plus socks, long pants, a long-sleeved shirt, chemical-resistant gloves, and protective eyewear. Special statements are another important feature on product labels. They provide users with specific do's and don'ts, such as following transplanting, care must be taken to ensure that soils are settled firmly, or make sure to remove existing weeds prior to treatment. Of course, application rates are probably what most people think of when they hear specimen label. And it's true, the label